morning to all of you and welcome back again. So yesterday what we discussed, I hope you remember, we saw about the importance of money as a medium of exchange. We saw also about demand deposits which are as good as money in the hand. And because of the availability of checkbook, we are able to use that money or exchange that money through the check to someone else. So without handling the cash, we can make transactions with the use of check, and therefore it became very easy, it became very handy for everyone. Now let's see about different activities of bank. One activity of the bank, we said, it is accepting the deposits. People who want to deposit money, the bank will accept it. They can deposit in their account. Then another activity of the bank is to give loan to others. So the money that people deposit in the bank, they give to others. So some people may have extra money in their hand, they will go and deposit in the bank. Some people may be in need of money, so they will go and borrow from the bank. That is called loan, taking loan from the bank. So when we take money from the loan, from the bank, we have to give back little interest. With interest we have to return back. And when we deposit money in the bank, they will give us also some interest. So money keeping with others, we need to pay interest. So let's see. You can take page number 42. Loan activities of banks. Then loan, let us take the story of bank further. What do the banks do with the deposits which they accept from the public? There is an interesting mechanism at work here. Banks keep only a small proportion of their deposits as cash with themselves. For example, banks in India these days hold about 15% of their deposits as cash. This is kept as provision to pay the depositors who might come to withdraw money from the bank on any given day. Since on any particular day only some of its money depositors come to withdraw cash, the bank is able to manage with this cash. So people go and deposit money in the bank, and bank does not keep all that money in a safe, nicely lock and key. No, they deposit, they keep there only 15% of the cash. Another 85% they keep on rolling. They give to others, those who are needy. Others can take a loan from them. So this 15% they just reserve and keep it there. In case anybody is coming and asking for money for withdrawing, then they can give. That is the system that they have. So the money is never sitting idle there. The people depositing money, it is rolling. It is given to different people for interest, for loan. Then banks use the major portion of the deposits to extend loans. So the majority or part of the money that they receive as a deposit is given as a loan to others. There is a huge demand for loans for various economic activities. We shall read more about this in the following sections. Banks make use of the deposits to meet the loan requirements of the people. In this way, banks mediate between those who have surplus funds and those who are in need of these funds, that is, the borrowers. Banks charge a higher interest rate on loans than what they offer on deposits. The difference between what is charged from borrowers and what is paid to depositors is their main source of income. So, banks, they are doing this business transaction. So many people are working in the bank, so they need to pay salary and so. From where will bank get this money? The people who are depositing, they also will be given little interest. And people who are borrowing money from the bank, they have to pay back with interest. So that way, bank is receiving more than what they give. So the interest that they give to the customers, they are not same. When I deposit my money in the bank, they give me only 3%. interest. If I deposit 100 rupees, they will give me back 103 rupees, just 3%. But if I take money from the bank 100 rupees, then the interest that I have to give back is 8% or 9%. That means if I take 100 rupees from the bank as a loan, I have to give back 109 rupees per month. So that way the money that government bank receives is more than what they give. So there is extra money in that. So that money is used for paying salary to the bank employees, the workers. And there will be still extra, that will be the profit for the bank. So that is how the bank is managing the money. They collect the money from the people and give it to others, and they charge higher interest from the people, and with that they manage the income, paying the salary and so on. And it is also expressed nicely there in the form of a chart in the chart in the comic. See, people are coming for depositors. The depositors, people make deposits and people make withdrawals and get interest. So this side people, they can deposit money in the bank and also they can withdraw. When they withdraw, they will be given some extra money for so long keeping money in the bank. Then borrowers, others are borrowers. They take loans from the bank, then people repay loans with interest. So when they take loan, afterwards they return back, then they pay with interest. So that way the rolling of the money is going on. Bank becomes just a middleman. Some people will come and deposit, other people will come and take that money. Bank is in the middle, just managing, taking and giving. So that is about loan. Now let us see about two different types of credit situations. Two different types of credit situations. So there are two different types of credit situations existing. Let's see what are they. So a large number of transactions in our day-to-day activities involve credit in some form or the other. Credit or loan refers to an agreement in which a lender supplies the borrower with money, goods or services in return for the promise of future payment. We can underline that. What does a credit or a loan means? So credit or loan refers to an agreement in which the lender supplies the borrower with money, goods or services. So you can borrow goods, or you can borrow money, or you can borrow things with a promise that he will return in future. So I borrow from you 100 rupees saying I will return back to you next week. Then that is a loan. So it is not necessary you have to take loan from the bank. You can take from other individuals also. Or I buy some things from the shop and I will pay him, I will tell him I will pay the money next week. So that is also a loan. I am taking loan, things in loan. Or I can also take service. I say I take the service of a lawyer. I have a case in the court and I hire one lawyer to come and speak on my behalf in the court. Then I have to pay him his fees. But I say I don't have money now, I will pay you next week. So that is also a borrowing, a loan. I have to repay afterwards. Now let's see two examples. One is festival season. It is festival season 2 months from now, and the shoe manufacturer Salim has received an order from a large trader in the town for 3,000 pairs of shoes to be delivered in a month time. So when the festival season comes, we know people all will like to buy new dress, new shoes and so on. So after 2 months the festival season is coming. Therefore one big man, big merchant, big businessman came to a person who is a shoemaker, Salim his name. he came and told him, you make shoes for me, 3000 pairs of shoes. I want to sell it in the festival season. So you make 3000 pairs of shoes. To complete production on time, Salim has to hire a few more workers for stitching and pasting work. So Salim alone is working means he cannot complete making 3000 pairs of shoes. 3000 pairs means 3000 plus 3000. One pair means two shoes, no? So 6000 shoes he has to make, and he alone he will not be able to cover up, finish up within these 2 months. Therefore he has to call some more people to come and help him. Then he has to pay them wages, money, and he has to purchase the raw materials. So to make shoes he has to buy leather, other materials, raw materials which are needed for manufacturing shoes. Then to meet these expenses, Salim obtains loans from two sources. So in order to buy all these things and pay the wages to the workers, and so he does not have enough money, because he will get money only after completion of the work and giving to that businessman. Only then he will pay all the money. So till then he has to manage it. How will he manage? He has to take loan from somebody. So he has got two sources. First he asks the leather supplier to supply leather now and promises to pay him later. So he can go and meet the person who is selling the leather and tell him, you give me this much leather and I will pay you later. After 2 months I will pay you. Then second option is he obtains a loan in cash from the large trader as advance payment for 1000 pairs of shoes with a promise to deliver the whole order by the end of the month. Another thing is he can ask that businessman, you give me some money advance. You are asking me to make 3000 shoes, 3000 pairs of shoes. So I don't have enough money to buy things. So you give me some money in advance. I have not finished the work, but I will finish the work before the festival begins. Then that time you give me full amount. Now you give me some advance. So he can have these two sources. Either he can borrow the leather from another person, or he can ask the cash in advance from this businessman. Then use that money to pay to the leather businessman and take leather from him. So he has got these two options. At the end of the month, Salim is able to deliver the order, make a good profit and repay the money that he had borrowed. So if he had borrowed the leather from the leatherman, then at the end of completion of his work, he will get all the money from the businessman and go and pay that money to the leather businessman. Then the rest of the money will be his profit. So he makes a good profit. So that is two ways of taking a loan. Now in this case, Salim obtains credit to meet the working capital needs of production. So Salim obtains credit, or he takes the loan to raise up the money to get the working capital. The credit helps him to meet the ongoing expenses of production, complete production on time, and thereby increase his earnings. So if he does not get that money in advance or things in advance, he will not be able to complete his work in time. Since he got things in time, he is able to complete his work in time, submit the product to the businessman and get money and get the profit. So credit therefore plays a very vital and positive role in this situation. So that credit, getting the credit, either money from the businessman or leather from the leatherman, whatever it is, whatever method he is using, that credit is very important. If he does not get the credit, then he will not be able to complete his work and he will be lagging behind and he will not be able to make profit and so on. Now let us see another case. The second person, Sapna, how she is able to get the loan or credit. Sapna, a small farmer, grows groundnut on her 3 acres of land. So she is a small farmer and she has got the land, 3 acres of land is there, and she is planting groundnut there. She takes a loan from a money lender to meet the expenses of cultivation, hoping that her harvest would help repay the loan. So she does not have enough money to begin her cultivation. Therefore, she is going to the village money lender and taking some money from him, thinking that after my harvest, I can sell this groundnut and I will give back the money to him. But midway through the season, the crop is hit by pests and the crop fails. So, as she was cultivating halfway, the plants grew halfway, then there was a problem. There was a pest attacking the insects attacking it, and it was spoiled. And so, what to do now? Though Sapna sprays her crops with expensive pesticides, it makes little difference. She is unable to repay the moneylender and the debt grows over the year into a large amount. So she sprayed medicine and so pesticide, but somehow the crop did not yield nicely. So at the end of the year she was not able to repay it. So as the Sapna, she was taking this loan and she could not repay because her crop failed and she was ending in debt. And the following year she decided to cultivate again, and for that she took the loan again. And that year the crop was a normal crop. It was not more or it was not less. It was just normal. And because of that she could not pay the old loan. There was not enough money to pay two loans. Now she has got the old loan is there, the fresh loan also is there. So she could not pay both the loans. Therefore she decided to sell a part of her land and get that money and clear the loan. So that was a really tough decision for her, because next year her land is smaller again for cultivation. How will she survive? So that was a really difficult situation for her. And so we realize that two people take different types of loans, and which loan is safer, you think? The case of Salim we saw there is no risk involved. He is taking loan from the merchants. But here in the case of Sapna, she is taking loan from a private money lender and he will charge high interest, and at the end she lost her crop, she lost her property, land also. So she was in a real difficulty, and as the years pass by she will suffer more and more. So it is going to be really difficult. So in rural areas, the main demand for credit is for crop production. So in the rural area, people are mostly farmers and they need money to begin their cultivation, and therefore they go and take loan. Crop production involves considerable costs on seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, water, electricity, repair of equipment, etc. So farmers, they need a lot of money in the beginning. What are their needs? They need to buy seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, water for irrigation. Then they need electricity for pumping water. Then they need to repair their equipments, their plow, their motor, so many things they need to repair. For that they need money. All this they need money. In the beginning they may not have much money. So what will they do? They have to go and borrow from someone. There is a minimum stretch of 3 to 4 months between the time when the farmers buy these inputs and when they sell the crop. Farmers usually take crop loans at the beginning of the season and repay the loan after the harvest. And repayment of the loan is crucially dependent on the income from farming. So usually people who are cultivating the farm products, maybe rice or wheat, it takes just 4 months or 5 months. From the beginning of the cultivation they will take the loan, they will buy all the things, and soon after the harvest they will go and repay the loan back. That is the normal custom, normal practice among the farmers. Then and repayment of the loan is crucially dependent on the income from the farming. So just as we saw in the case of Sapna, she was not able to repay the loan because her crop failed. So it can happen to many other farmers as well. So if they are not able to get good income from the farm, or if their crops are failed, then they are not able to repay the loan. What happened to Sapna may happen to other farmers as well. They may have to sell their land in order to pay back the loan. So that is very risky for the people. Then, in Sapna's case, the failure of the crop made loan repayment impossible. She had to sell part of the land to repay the loan. Credit, instead of helping Sapna improve her earnings, left her worse off. This is an example of what is commonly called debt trap. So we take loan from the others, and afterwards we think to give back because we think we can make profit. With this loan we can cultivate nicely. At the end, after repaying the loan, we will have some profit. That is what everybody thinks. But what happened in the case of Sapna is that she was in trap. No, all her plans did not work out. She was entered in crop failure, and her debt was increasing, and at the end she had to sell her land in order to give back the land. So instead of growing richer or becoming more wealthier, she became poorer, and so because of taking that loan, she was in a trap. She lost even what she had. She lost even the land that she had. So that is called debt trap. People who take, especially the farmers or the business people, thinking that all their plans will go on well and they will be able to make profit, they take the loan, but the end what happens is just the opposite, and they suffer, and some of them get discouraged, they commit suicide and so on. So they are really entering into a trap, we can say. It is sometimes they are lucky, they will get profit. They are unlucky, their business will fail or their agriculture will fail, and they will end up in a trap. That is a real dangerous situation. And credit in this case pushes the borrower into a situation from which. So what happened in the case of Sapna is that instead of improving her cultivation, she lost her crop and she had to sell her land and pay back the money. That was really a very painful situation for her. And in one situation, credit helps to increase earnings, and therefore the person is better off than before. In another situation, because of the crop failure, credit pushes the person into debt trap, and to repay her loan she has to sell the portion of her land. She is clearly much worse than before. Whether credit would be useful or not, therefore, depends on the risk in the situation and whether there is some support in case of loss. So, a person who takes loan for different purposes, for business maybe, or maybe for farm maybe, they are taking a big risk. How they will be able to repay the loan if the business fails, or if the crops fail, how are they going to repay the loan? They should have a very good planning about the future. Then only they'll be able to become successful in improving their life or becoming better, financially better, economically better by using this loan. Otherwise they are going to enter into a trap and their life is going to be really a very risky one. So it is really, they have to plan out carefully, think about carefully and so on. And let us see what are the terms of credit. There are some terms of credit. When people take loan from others or from bank, some terms are there, conditions are there. Let us see what are the terms. So to take loan, what are the terms? So every loan agreement specifies an interest rate which the borrower must pay to the lender along with the repayment of the principal. So we have to give back the money what we have taken, plus we have to give back some interest. So as I said earlier, if I take 100 rupees loan and I have to give back 100 rupees plus the interest. So if it is 9% interest means I have to give back 109 rupees. If it is 10% interest, I have to give back 110 rupees and so on. So repayment of the principal, that is, in addition, lenders may demand collateral security against loan. So if you want to take loan, the lenders, one who is giving the money, they may demand some collateral. Collateral means some security. Some people will say, give me the paper of your house documents. So if you are not giving back the loan, the house will be mine. I will take the house. Or also some other documents like that. Maybe if you have a vehicle, give me the paper or the documents of the vehicle. I will keep this paper with me. When you give back the loan, I will pay back. So some kind of security they require. Otherwise they are afraid. These people may cheat or their business fail. They will not give back the money and then I will be the loser. So in order to make my part safe, I will demand some kind of security from that person. That is called collateral. So collateral is an asset that the borrower owns, such as land documents or building documents or vehicle documents or livestock or deposits which banks, so whatever security can be given, maybe my house documents or my vehicle documents, or if I have some deposit in the bank, I can give that document to him. You keep this one as a security. So the collateral, it is a security which the borrower will demand. So I can give him whatever security I have, whatever property I have, I can give him as a security. He will keep it with him, and when I return back the loan, he will give me back the thing. Then if the borrower fails to repay the loan, the lender has the right to sell the asset or collateral to obtain payment. So if I don't give back the loan, what will he do? He can sell my property. The document I have given to him, so he can sell my property. If it is my house, he can sell my house and get back his money. Or if it is my vehicle, he can sell my vehicle and get back his money. So that is the agreement that we make before taking the loan. Then properties such as land, titles, deposits with banks, livestock are some of common examples of collateral used for borrowing. So some of the collaterals that people use for borrowing money is they give land titles, the property, the paper of the land we give, then we maybe of the house, or maybe the deposit that you have in the bank, or the livestock that you have, whatever you have, you can give to him, and he will make use of it. He will keep it with him, and in case I fail to pay back the loan, then he will make use of it. He will process it, he can sell it, so he will have the full power to use it for his own purpose to get back his loan. So that is what he can do. That is the permission that I give him in order to make use of my document on behalf of giving me the loan. So we shall stop today, and the next class we shall continue to talk about the loan that we take from different banks or from different sources, and let us see what are the consequences and what are the different options that are available for taking loan and so on. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Have a wonderful day.